Good morning and a good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and Coffee Stream episode 345. I hope you're all having a good Monday. If you are like me up in Canada, in the Ontario area, you are looking outside and going, well, shit, looks like winter is here. And in that spirit, I actually have the oldest with me this morning, but he is in the other room playing video games. So that's fine. Um, so I hope everyone had a good weekend. I hope everyone had some form of a fun Halloween, whatever that might have looked like for you guys. And I hope you're ready to cover some of the insaneness that happened over the weekend. Because there was a fair bit of it. And before we get into all of that, I just want to say that as I was thinking today, because it's the last day before the election in the States, and I really feel like there is a tipping point here for both Canada and the US. And I think it's going to happen with the States first and with Canada next. And we're on a tipping point of, are we going to actually flip over to a communist society that's based in fear, based in lies, based in control? Or are we about to see sort of a pushback? Are we about to see what should have happened in the Eastern blocs? And are we going to, because of the values that we've had instilled in us, are we about to witness, as Thomas Hobbes put it in his writings, a nasty, brutish, and short revolution back towards sanity? And I really think that this election is a lot more important than just Trump or Biden. I think it is a literal fork in the road for North America. And it's desperately important that those of us who can vote do vote. And we vote with the bigger picture in mind. And I'm saying we because I have a feeling that we're going to be pushed to an election in Canada before the 4-year mark. And I think it is just as important for us here to vote with the bigger picture in mind, and not necessarily vote with, oh well, I like the person. Oh well, you don't have to love your leader. You don't have to be a movementarian to pick the leader that you want to govern you. There's a lot of things that a good leader does that his subjects don't like. That doesn't mean it's not good for them. And I think that this is very important, and I think it needs to be kept in mind in this election when it comes to picking who you'd like to lead your country. So with that out of the way, I do apologize if you can hear Alex in the background. I have my door shut, but he's playing Lego Avengers, and he really, really gets into the tipping point. You just missed my little monologue there, Czech. The tipping point between communism and democracy slash sanity. Oh yeah, you can hear him a little bit in the background. Hi, Sunseal. This week gonna be nuts. It really is. It really is. It's gonna be bad. Um, and I think it's. I honestly didn't think I'd see something like this in my lifetime. Like, I read about the Red Scare in the 50s, and I was taught about in history class how racist it was. Um, but I think that was a bit one sided, and I think it wasn't explored very well. Um, Not saying that Joe McCarthy was a good man, but um, I didn't think I'd be witnessing another communist. It almost feels like a struggle for the values of which these our two North American countries were founded on. It really does. It may sound a bit hyperbolic, but it really feels like a yeah, Richo, you're right. This election will help shape the Western world for at least another 20 years. Yeah, it will. Damn, I hope Trump wins. Yeah. The Amber Heard Johnny Depp ruling is supposed to be today too. Oh, is it? I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know about that, Sunseal. I'll have to take a look at that. But yeah, this is a really really interesting time. And I have a lot of friends who are in the LGBT community who are absolutely hysterical right now over the fact that Amy Coney Barrett is in the Supreme Court and that Trump might win, and it's like, you really really don't want Biden to win. I'm sorry. I know you think Trump is going to kill you all, but he's really not. And you really 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 don't want Biden, especially if you are a minority in a minority group. You just don't want Joe Biden in. I'm sorry. I them's the breaks. So, let's get into the news. I would like to welcome everybody. Welcome Richo. Welcome Check Your Logic. Welcome to everyone else who has not said hello yet. And if he is watching on the replay, thank you to Lord Famine for your patronage. I didn't want to air your real name on stream last night, but Pinkalo did tell me after the stream it was you. So thank you to Lord Famine for your patronage. It means a lot. Now, let's get to the proper window. Close that. And we'll close that. And today we're going to start off with science. I know we usually end with science, but I was busy with Alex and I opened the stories in a hurry and kind of opened them backwards. So we're going to do our science story first. And work backwards from there. So, here we go. Oh, and Costin is here too. Welcome to Costin. And I hope those of you who watched Night of the Living Dead with us last night enjoyed it. I would like to do stuff like that more often. I'd like to watch Black Christmas on stream, but I think it might be copyright. There's snow outside my window. I blame Pincalo. Oh, don't blame Pincalo. Pincalo has to drive in it. Okay, so where are we here? So this is from C Tech Daily. I found this while perusing Google News this morning. Where is that headline? I just had it. There it is. Astronomers discover activity in... Oops. Where's the words here? Okay, so astronomers discover activity on distant Centaur planetary object. Okay, so the constellation of Centaur. Or Centauri? So this is the picture of a planetary object with the stars and... So this is the headline picture. Oh, it's a minor planet. Okay. Let's move the microphone so that VoiceOver can read this properly to you guys without sounding incredibly far away. And we'll turn this up a bit.
This new image of C/2 Centaurs are minor planets believed to have originated in the Kuiper Belt in the outer solar system. They sometimes have comet-like features such as tails and comets, clouds of dust particles and gas, even though they orbit in a region between Jupiter and Neptune where it is too cold for water to readily sublimate or transition directly from solid to a gas.
Okay. I had actually never heard of that classification before. That's interesting. That's very interesting. Let's see.
Only 18 active Centaurs have been discovered since 1927, and much about them is still poorly understood. Discovering activity on Centaurs is also observationally challenging because they are faint, telescope time intensive, and because they are rare.
I bet. That's got to be hard to find because of where they are. Sorry guys, I'm trying to get the mic a little bit closer.
A team of astronomers, led by doctoral student and presidential fellow Colin Chandler in Northern Arizona University's Astronomy and Planetary Science PhD program, earlier this year announced their discovery of activity emanating from Centaur 2014 OG 392, a planetary object first found in 2014. They published their findings in a paper in the Astrophysical Journal Letters. Cometary activity discovered on a distant Centaur, a non-aqueous sublimation mechanism. Chandler is the lead author, working with 4 now co-authors, graduate student Jay Cuny, Associate Professor Chad Trujillo, Professor David Trilling, and PhD student William Oldroyd.
Very cool. That's pretty awesome. That's a cool discovery. And this is in our own solar system. So that's pretty cool.
Link image. Doctoral student Colin Chandler works at Mouseberry. The team's research involved developing a database search algorithm to locate archival images of the Centaur as well as a follow-up observational campaign. You are currently on it.
Okay.
Our paper reports the discovery of activity emanating from Centaur 2014 OG 392, based on archival images we uncovered, plus our own new observational evidence acquired with the Dark Energy Camera of the Inter-American Observatory in Cerro de Lalo, Chile, the Walter Baade Telescope at the Los Campanes Observatory in Chile, and the Large Monolithic Imager at Lowell Observatory's Discovery Channel Telescope in Happy Jack, Arizona, Chandler said.
Very cool. That is awesome. I would love... If I ever got my sight back, I think the first thing I would do after, looking at my family and all that, would be to go look at it through a telescope. That would probably be the first thing that I did.
We detected Akuma as far as 400,000 kilometers from 2014 OG 392, and our analysis of sublimation processes and dynamical lifetimes suggest carbon dioxide and/or ammonia are the most likely candidates for causing activity on this and other active centaurs. We developed a novel technique that combines observational measurements, for example, color and dust mass, with modeling efforts to estimate such characteristics as the object's volatile sublimation and orbital dynamics.
Okay. I wish I understood more about this stuff because I'm not really good at commenting on stuff like that. But this is fascinating.
As a result of the team's discovery, the centaur has recently been reclassified as a comet and will be known as C/2014 OG 392 Pan-STARRS. You are
cool. We have it got promoted.
I'm very excited that the Minor Planet Center awarded a new comet designation befitting the activity we discovered on this unusual object, he said.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool discovery. A nice feather in your cap.
This week, Chandler has been invited to present the results at the 52nd Division for Planetary Sciences, DPS, of the American Astronomical Society AA's 2020 meeting. You are
awesome.
Reference, commentary.
And he's a doctoral candidate, like a doctoral student. So, I mean, that's a great feather in your cap for being a doctoral student. That's pretty awesome. Go him. Way to go, Mr. Chandler. No, there wasn't supposed to be an asteroid. Not that I know of. Mr. No. Hello, sir. Uzi Q. Hello, ma'am. I got rid of my Halloween. Oh, you got rid of your Halloween profile pic. Okay. I understand. Let's see here. So this next story is about a scam. So I do apologize for coughing in your ears. Couldn't get to the mute button before the cough came out. Go to StreamYard. Thank you. Okay. Let's share this screen here. So apparently, this woman in Halifax lost $14,000 to a telephone scam. Irate! Hey, buddy. Glad to have you. You missed Night of the Living Dead last night. That's what Pincolo and I were watching. And Scribe showed up for a bit. Let's see. So, Halifax area woman warns of phone scam after losing $14,000. Okay, this is tragic that you've lost so much money, but really? How do people do this? We forgive you for coughing. It's not like you can... In fact, that's with any viruses, except maybe an earworm for your voice. Oh, fuck, I forgot about the movie. We watched Night of the Living Dead on stream last night because Discord was being a douchebag and I couldn't share Evil Dead 2. So we watched Night of the Living Dead on Blind and the Special last night, and we had fun. It was good. It was good. I'd actually never seen it before. Okay. And this is the picture of the young woman, and it's not an elderly lady. Usually you hear these phone scams going after the elderly, but this woman is 20. So, let's take a listen.
A Halifax area woman and her family are speaking out after she fell victim to a scam that cost her close to $14,000.
Where does a 20-year-old get $14,000 unless she used it from her student loan?
Yue Conte, 20, was at home in Beachville on Wednesday when her phone rang. On the other end was a man who identified himself as a Halifax regional police officer.
Okay.
He told Conte she was in trouble. I felt like I was panicking, like I was having a heart attack, she said. I thought I was actually getting a criminal record.
You weren't suspicious, having not done anything at all? And some random person calls you and says, I'm a cop, you're in trouble? But you know, did your memory not recollect that you hadn't done anything? Anyway, let's continue.
The man gave Conte his name and badge number and told her someone had obtained her social insurance number and banking information. You are currently...
Okay, but that wouldn't mean she was in trouble. That would mean the person who stole her identity was in trouble. They've thrown credit cards at these kids. Have done it since I was in college.
He gave me the option that I should go to my bank and empty my money from my bank, and he gave me a second option that I would just let a police arrest me, she said.
Okay, honey. I know you're only 20, but even at 20, you have to realize that is not something a police officer would do. A police officer is not going to call you and say, someone stole your identity. Your two choices are to empty your bank account or just let us arrest you. That's not how that works. It's just not. So...
Conte said the man instructed her to go to a specific Bitcoin automated banking machine in a Halifax convenience store on Main Avenue to deposit the money.
I'm trying to be nice. I'm trying to be nice. But really? It didn't occur to you then, when they said go to a Bitcoin ATM, that you didn't think that was a little weird? I was not smart at 20. No, this is Halifax. This is Halifax. And the way that it went was they called her, said that her identity had been stolen, and her choices were to empty her bank account or be arrested. And if she emptied her bank account, she should go to a Bitcoin depositing machine to deposit the money. And she didn't think to herself, that's a little weird. And I'm just saying.
Yue was told to use the Bitcoin automated banking machine inside TJ's Grocery located on Main Avenue in Halifax, Robert Short/CPC. Bitcoin is a form of digital currency, and Bitcoin. You are currently. ABMs have been used for scams.
No shit.
In the past. Heading level 2. Panicking, Conte took the bus to the bank and withdrew the cash. The man stayed with her on the line the entire time.
That's not... Holy crap, red flags everywhere. And like I said, I was no brilliant person at 20. I'm still not. But good Lord. It's like she was being followed around with a sign that said, "This is a scam," and she just ignored it. Jesus.
I followed the instructions when he told me, and he told me not to say anything to nobody, because I would get in trouble for doing this, she said.
Wow. This is totally cop-like behavior. Totally. This makes total sense. I would definitely think this was legit. Fuck.
When the bank teller asked her why she was withdrawing such a large sum, Conte didn't answer. She said the bank had her sign a liability waiver. You are current.
Well, you're screwed. You that money's not coming back. This broad would be terrible at Among Us. Yes, she would. Yeah, you've just lost $14,000, chickie.
Scared and nervous, with just a few dollars left in her bank account.
And where did you get this much money?
Left in her bank account, Conte deposited close to $14,000 into the Bitcoin machine. It just disappeared, she said.
Yeah, because it wasn't a cop that you were talking to, you dummy. I'm sorry, like, I don't mean to be so mean, but, like, come on.
US said she's disappointed in herself for believing the scammer, and now she's afraid to answer her phone. Robert / When the man on the phone was satisfied he'd received the money, he hung up. Conte said he sent her a follow-up text saying he would come by her house the next day to explain the situation to her parents, but he never did.
Because he's got 14 grand.
A Hex area woman and her family are Uwe Conte, 20.
Oh. Where did all that money come? I swear, I bet you she just gave her student loan for the year. That is, I guarantee you that's what she just did. Because of the time of year it is. I guarantee you that was a student loan deposit. That's... Be nice, blind press. Be nice. Be nice. Don't call people names. Okay. So let's get to the stories from Pink Hollow now. She emptied her own bank account. Or she emptied her OnlyFans. Ha! That's funny. Let's see here. Where are we? There we are. The U.S. military rescues American citizen held hostage in Nigeria. Oh dear. Let's take a look at this article. Let's see here. All right.
U.S. Special Forces on Saturday carried out a daring raid in Nigeria to rescue. Link. Philippe Walton. A 27-year-old American citizen taken hostage by armed gunmen earlier this week, Pentagon officials said.
God damn. I wonder if he was a journalist, because he's in Nigeria, so I'm wondering if he was covering the unrest.
Mr. Link. Walton. And his family live on a Link. Niger. Farm near the border with Nigeria. He was reportedly being held for ransom after his abduction October 26th.
Oh.
Defense Department officials offered little detail on the specifics of the mission but said that allies in Africa assisted with the operation. Officials also indicated that no ransom was paid to recover Mr. Link. Walton.
Good.
Period. U.S. forces conducted a hostage rescue operation during the early hours of October 31st in northern Nigeria to recover an American citizen held hostage by a group of armed men, Pentagon spokesman Jonathan Hoffman said in a statement. This American citizen is safe and is now in the care of the U.S. Department of State. No U.S. military personnel were injured during the operation.
Good. A successful operation. This is why most terrorist groups don't kidnap U.S. citizens. They don't get their ransom, they get yeeted. Yep. Hello, Annalyn.
We appreciate the support of our international partners in conducting this operation, he said. The United States will continue to protect our people and our interests anywhere in the world.
Yeah?
President Trump tweeted Saturday morning, "Big win for our very elite U.S. Special Forces today. Details to follow." Later, speaking to reporters before leaving Washington for campaign rallies in Pennsylvania, Mr. Trump praised the rescue operation as a tremendous event. It was something that had to get done, the president said. They, kidnappers, were playing with American citizens. We can't let that happen.
No, you can't. Not at all. You absolutely can't. Let's see here.
Third-party ad. Safe frame container. End of. Third, he said of the special forces, these are great people, these are the best in the world, there's nobody like them. It is not believed that the armed captors were associated with Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State, or any other terrorist group, U.S. officials told the Associated Press. Armed kidnappings are common in the region and often have no motive other than money.
Yeah. That's true. Unfortunately, that is very true. Which is very unfortunate. But they were worried that he could be sold to an extremist group and possibly executed. So that's way to go, U.S. Special Forces. Awesome. Let's see. Next story. Next story here. Alrighty. Oh, this will be good. This one will get me pissed. This is I think an opinion piece. Let's see here. Where's the headline? There it is. So this is Chaudhary, I think is their name. TCDSB and school employees, maskless teachers should be fined. So I think that's Toronto Centre District School Board. Oh, she's a lawyer and employment lawyer. Okay.
You are currently on a text element.
Okay.
Last week, news broke of a link. Toronto Catholic school teacher.
Oh, Toronto Catholic District School Board. Okay.
Last link. Toronto Catholic school teacher fined for not wearing a mask while teaching.
Wow. Okay.
An officer from the Ministry of Labour attended St. Charles Catholic School, near Lawrence Avenue, W and Dufferin Street, on October 23rd after receiving a complaint that the teacher was attending school and not wearing a mask.
Maybe they can't wear one. Maybe they have asthma.
Heading Level 2. Distress scale. According to the Toronto Sun, the teacher was charged and is expected to appear before a justice of the peace facing a fine of up to $1,000.
Jesus.
Ontario regulates new workplace screening requirement. Chrome has new window. The Toronto Catholic District School Board has not spoken publicly on the issue, except to confirm the teacher is on leave pending the outcome of the investigation. You are currently
$1,000 fine. What? Seriously, what if she couldn't wear a mask? What if she's medically incapable of wearing the mask?
This is not the first time the main character of our story, the maskless teacher, was the subject of PPE controversy. St. Charles had to close its doors to students for a full week on October 5th after the same teacher tested positive for COVID-19.
Okay, now I'm getting a little less on the teacher's side. Just that now I'm... Nah.
Lily Unleashed. This is not the first time the main character of our story, Lily Button. What we can surmise is that the rogue educator, who also teaches at 4 other Toronto schools, self-isolated following his diagnosis, then returned to St. Charles and failed to follow PPE protocol, placing children and staff in harm's way yet again.
We're gonna be wearing masks forever, aren't we?
Story continues below. Third party at safe frame container, and up. Third, a complaint to the Ministry of Labor is often a complaint of last resort. Usually the ministry only gets called after a complaint is made to the workplace with no satisfactory response. It must be asked then, what, if anything, did St. Charles do when it learned this teacher was flouting the rules? Likely, not enough.
If she tests positive, she has to stay home, which he did. He isolated, and then when he came back to school, he wasn't wearing a mask again.
Most employers have been careful to sanitize, pardon the pun, their images publicly, following a COVID-19 outbreak, making it a point to publicize workplace closures, deep cleaning and sterilization of common workspaces. This, however, is nothing more than a half measure if employees do not wear masks. Heading level 2. More on this top link.
Is that all she has to say?
The Ministry of
Labor.
No. Next item in carousel. The Ministry of Labor got it wrong by stopping short of charging the school and only seeking to penalize the maskless teacher.
What are they going to do? Charge the school and take... So if you charge the school, then you take money out of the school's budget for education. Is that really what you think should be done?
While sanctioning teachers during COVID has become sticky and political given the reported drought of available teachers in Ontario, government sanctions could be the only thing that will actually change employee behavior, especially for those who don't seem to think laws apply to them.
In other words, mandated masks and fines.
Sanctioning employees alone, though, will not do the trick. If employers are insulated from penalty and do not see the same consequences for ignoring reckless behavior, cases will continue to rise. Story continues.
So, yeah, mandated masks and fining of employers for the individual actions. Sounds awesome.
Third-party ad content.
Just fucking awesome.
It is now law for all employees. It is now law for all employees in most common spaces to wear a mask when indoors and when unable to properly socially distance. While the Ministry of Labor is making an example of this teacher alone, it is certainly curious what motivated the ministry to ignore the role the school and school board played in this bungled incident.
Because we don't live in a fucking dictatorship. The individual still has onus. Mask wearing will be with us forever because flu and people don't want the negative social effects. Yep. Because they've scared and shamed us all into being afraid of something that's less dangerous than the flu is. Which is stupid. It's fucking stupid. I hate this. Like when my 3-year-old goes to junior kindergarten next year, he's probably gonna have to wear a mask. It's ridiculous. It just drives me crazy. Sounds like communism. Yep. Also, they want us to live in the dictatorship. Yep. Hence, again, my monologue about being at a tipping point. Because we really are at a tipping point. This is not, I'm really not trying to be hyperbolic here, but we're at a fork in the road. And we need to think very, very carefully about which fork we take. Because one fork, we may not be able to turn around and come back from. All right. So here we have a thing about Obama and Trump. Because Obama was campaigning for Joe this weekend. Alright, where's that headline here? Oh, I'm all the way at the bottom of the page, aren't I? God damn it. Okay. This is a long article. Holy crap. Okay. All right. This is a picture of former President Barack Obama speaking in, I think, Michigan. Obama and Trump failed to take pandemic and presidency seriously. Ah, I see. I wonder if there's a video of Obama's speech. All right, here we go.
Detroit, calling Joe Biden his brother. Barack Obama on Saturday accused Donald Trump of failing to take the coronavirus pandemic and the presidency seriously as Democrats leaned on America's first black president to energize black voters in battleground Michigan on the final weekend of the 2020 campaign.
I heard a bit of that speech. It was weird. Like, Obama sounded hysterical in that speech. It was weird.
Obama, the 44th president, and Biden, his vice president who wants to be the 46th, held drive-in rallies in Flint and Detroit, predominantly black cities where strong turnout will be essential to swing the longtime Democratic state to Biden's column after Trump won it in 2016. 3 days until the most important election of our lifetime, and that includes mine, which was pretty important, said Obama, urging Democrats to get to the polls.
Gotta make it about you, Barry. Okay, let's see.
The memories of Trump's win in Michigan and the rest of the upper Midwest are still searing in the minds of many Democrats during this closing stretch before Tuesday's election. That leaves Biden in the position of holding a consistent lead in the national polls and an advantage in most battlegrounds, including Michigan, yet still facing anxiety it could all slip away.
You mean like it did with Hillary? Because you guys are determined to lose the election? Obama is a clown, says Moonbased Radio. You're right.
As of Saturday, nearly 92 million voters had already cast ballots nationwide, according to a tally by the Associated Press. Tens of millions more will vote by the time polls close on Tuesday night.
Oh, wow. 92 million already voted. That's a lot. The West had a good run. Socialism is going to be back. Maybe we can live it out in the gulag. I'm honestly... This is what I mean about the tipping point here.
The former president hammered on Trump's continued focus on the size of his campaign crowds. Did no one come to his birthday party when he was a kid? Was he traumatized? Obama said in a mocking tone. The country's going through a pandemic. That's not what you're supposed to be worrying about. You are currently on attack.
I heard that part of the speech, and he sounded weird. Like, his voice was cracking. He sounded manic. like irate. Did you hear that speech? Because he honestly, he sounded manic.
Throughout the day, Trump and Biden, both septuagenarians, threw stinging barbs at one another that at moments verged into schoolyard taunt territory. You are Speaking in Flint, Biden joked of Trump, when you were in high school, wouldn't you have liked to take a shot? He also mocked the president as a macho man.
I'd rather have a macho man than a guy who spent 47 years in government and did jack shit.
Trump, too, on Saturday suggested he could beat up Biden if given the chance and suggested the former vice president wears sunglasses to cover up surgery on the eyes.
Ooh.
He's not a big guy, Trump said of Biden. A slight slap, you wouldn't have to close your fist.
Okay, boys, that's enough. Like, that's ridiculous. Come on.
Later in Detroit, Biden ridiculed Trump for calling himself the perfect specimen, called him Russian President Vladimir Putin's puppy, and joked about a New York Times report that showed Trump had spent $70,000 on hair care.
You're more the puppy than Trump is. Biden did a lot of racist shit in his career, yeah.
As Biden campaigned in Michigan, Trump made an aggressive play for pivotal Pennsylvania, focusing largely on his white, working-class base in 4 rallies, the last ending about 10 p.m., as temperatures fell to near 40 degrees.
Yes. Gotta focus on the race of Trump's, rally, attendees.
You know, Trump told supporters in Montoursville, if we win Pennsylvania, it's over. That's why I'm standing up here. At an early evening rally in Butler, Trump announced that he had issued a memorandum that calls on government agencies to determine fracking's impact on the economy and trade and the costs of banning the oil and gas extraction through fracking. The president has repeatedly charged that Biden will end fracking, a big industry in Pennsylvania and other states, even as the former vice president has said that he does not support a ban on fracking. You are currently on it.
Which Joe does.
In other words, if one of these maniacs come along and they say we're gonna end fracking, we're gonna destroy the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Trump said in announcing his memorandum, you can say, sorry about that. Earlier in the day in a small town in Bucks County on the eastern edge of the state, Trump raised baseless concerns about election fraud, pointing specifically at Philadelphia, a city whose large African-American population is key to Biden's fate in the state. You are currently on a text element, inside of web content. To exit this web area, press Control. Option, Shift, up arrow. Earlier in the day in a small town in Bucks County, they say you have to be very, very careful what happens in Philadelphia, Trump charged. Everybody has to watch. You are currently on a text element. Republicans are betting that Trump can win a second term by driving up turnout among his strongest supporters, white, non-college-educated men and rural voters, while limiting Biden's advantage with blacks and Latinos. Democrats.
What advantage with blacks and Latinos? Seriously, what advantage does Biden have for blacks and Latinos? He literally told undecided black voters that if they voted for Trump, they weren't black. But he's got an advantage with black and Latino voters? Are you... What is this writer smoking? I'm really curious. This is... Wow.
In Michigan, Rep. Dan Kildee, a Democrat who represents the Flint area, said he had been pressing for a couple of months for Biden or Obama to visit the majority black city where a water crisis that began in 2014 sickened the city's residents, exposing stark racial inequities. Showing up matters, Kildee said. The message is important, no question about it. But there's a message implicit in showing up, especially in Flint. You are currently on...
Yeah. It would have done a lot of work.
Biden's campaign announced it was sending Obama to Florida and Georgia on Monday. He is the campaign's most valuable asset to help energize the 9 white voters Democrats so badly need to defeat Trump. Joe Biden is my brother. I love Joe Biden, and he will be a great president, Obama said Saturday.
How racist is that? Send the black dude to tell the black people to vote for Biden. They'll listen to him. Holy shit. But the Democrats aren't racist, y'all. The Democrats aren't racist at all, but they're sending the black guy to get the black vote. Cause he's black, so the black people who don't want to vote for us, they'll listen to him. Wow, what a racist wow.
The press for Michigan's black voters comes after voting was down roughly 15% in Flint and Detroit 4 years ago, a combined 48,000 plus votes in a state Trump carried by about 10,700 votes. Overall, the black voter turnout rate declined for the first time in 20 years in a presidential election, falling to 59.6% in 2016 after reaching a record high 66.6% 4 years earlier, according to the Pew Research Center.
Because nobody wanted to vote for Clinton. And nobody knew what Trump would do for them. Oh, Yuzi's mom saw the prez in Georgia last night. 30K turnout. Oh, wow. That's crazy. Hey, Snugs.
Trump is unseating Michigan to Biden. He visited Waterford Township, near Detroit, on Friday and held a rally in the state capital, Lansing, this past week, though the surge in coronavirus cases are clouding his presidency. The worst week of the year, in terms of new infections, arrived with Election Day looming. More than 99,000 Americans reported new infections on Friday, a record high, according to Johns Hopkins University. Trump told Pennsylvania voters that his administration has done an incredible job dealing with the pandemic. He promised that the mass distribution of a vaccine was just weeks away. He's been saying that since August.
You guys have over 300 million people. Your numbers are not that big.
Biden has focused almost exclusively on Trump's inability to control the pandemic. We're gonna beat this virus and get it under control, and the first step to doing that is beating Donald Trump, Biden said.
Oh my god. You can't control a fucking virus. Oh, Jesus Christ. Trump gets 0 votes and Republicans are put into concentration camps.
Trump's closing sprint includes, in addition to the 4 stops in Pennsylvania, nearly a dozen events in the final 48 hours across states he carried in 2016. Biden will close out his campaign on Monday in Pennsylvania, the state where he was born and the one he's visited more than any other. The Biden team announced that the candidate, his wife, Jill, running mate Kamala Harris, and the senator's husband, Doug Emhoff, plan to fan out across all 4 corners of the state. Associated Press writers David Egger.
I'm really hoping that Trump takes this election. I really am. And I hope you guys don't have to wait forever to find out. Never underestimate the power of the average American. Very true, irate prostate. Very true. You never want to do that. So we've got 2 stories left, and that will take us through to me having to go and do some more stuff with Alex for schoolwork. Okay. Let's see. So this happened over the weekend in Quebec City, the capital of Quebec. And this guy's already been arrested. Dude, it's going to get weird. Oh, I know. I know. My mom said it was wonderful at the rally. I would imagine so. So let's buy ammo. Yeah. Either way. Like, seriously, either way. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna get bad. Either way it goes. So this man charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder after Halloween sword attack in Quebec City. Premeditated, huh? Because it has to have premeditation to merit a first-degree murder charge. I figured I'd pop in and say hi to everyone, see how everyone was doing. Oh, well, thank you very much, Smugs McLeod. That means a lot. We're doing all right. Just having a nice Monday stream. Let's see. All right, let's take a listen. Oops, sorry about that.
Quebec City Police Chief Robert Pigeon said during a news conference Sunday morning that the suspects came to the capital intending to do the most damage possible. Jacques Boisonnet / the Canadian.
So this is the
720
picture,
comments.
I believe, of this guy.
A 24-year-old man has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 5 counts of attempted murder after allegedly attacking 7 people with a sword in the historic district of Quebec City while dressed in a medieval outfit on Halloween night. You are currently on a text element.
Wow.
Court documents identify the accused as Carl Jard. The tall, thin man with dark hair appeared before a judge by video conference on Sunday. He is expected back in court on Thursday. You are currently...
Interesting. I wonder why. Why would...
The documents do not reveal Gerard's home address, but Radio-Canada has learned he is from Saint-Thérèse, Quay, a town located about 20 kilometers northwest of Montreal.
Yeah.
You are current. Police issued a statement on Twitter on Sunday afternoon saying that the coroner had. You are link. Identified the 2 victims, who lost their lives as Francois Duchesne, 56, and Suzanne Clermont, 61.
Dude, you went after old people with a sword? What the why?
The court has ordered a publication ban on any information that could identify the other 5 victims in this case, according to a spokesperson for the Director of Criminal and Penal Prosecutions.
Okay.
On Halloween night, police were contacted at about 10:30 p.m. and discovered victims in at least 4 locations, including near the Chateau Frontenac Hotel, on du Trésor Street, and on Rempart Street, according to Radio-Canada. You are current.
Oh, wow. He went on a spree.
List 1 item.
That's crazy. Holy shit. And this guy wasn't... And they're charging him with first-degree murder, which means they don't think he was crazy. They think he planned this shit. That's... Wow.
Bullet.
Okay.
After a 2.5-hour manhunt, a man was arrested shortly before 1 a.m., about 1 kilometer north of the area in the city's Old Port.
Okay.
Quebec City Police Chief Robert Pigeon said during a news conference Sunday morning that the man came to the capital with the intention of doing the most damage possible.
But why? Did they find out? You can be crazy and know what you're doing. That's true.
Pigeon said that everything leads us to believe you chose his victims at random, adding that he believes the crime was premeditated.
So he premeditatively showed up to the Capitol intending to kill, but didn't have intended victims. Okay. Okay. I see what they're saying here. Wow. Jesus Christ.
Watch Vertical Line, a breakdown of what happened Halloween night. Play Halloween stabbings evoke memories of 2017 mosque attack. Quebec Public Security Minister Geneviève Guilbault and Quebec City Mayor Régis Labaume say the overnight stabbing in Quebec City reminded them of the 2017 mosque shooting, which killed 6 people.
Why would it remind you of that? Yeah, it's gotta be a terrorist attack. First it was the chick who sent poison to a politician in the United States, and now a guy goes on a killing spree. Yep.
1:53. He said the police investigation has found that the accused is not associated with any terror group.
Okay. So he's not associated with any terror group. But
the man was carrying a Japanese katana-style sword, Pigeon said. The police chief said to notification 12 closed but The police chief said Gerard does not have a criminal record, but he did reveal 5 years ago in a medical context that he wanted to commit a violent act.
So he has homicidal ideation. So he could get away. If his lawyer is smart. It reminds me of the guy pretending to be an RCMP and killed all those people. Yeah.
Hitchens said police currently have no reason to believe the attack was motivated by religious or political reasons.
No, I think this guy's lawyer, if he gets a good lawyer, he's gonna get off with insanity. Japanese katana, like there is another kind of katana. Yeah, well. Yeah, this guy, if he gets a good lawyer, this lawyer's gonna say that this is gonna go back to that 5-year-old admission and going to push for an insanity diagnosis. And at most, he'll get institutionalized in a mental hospital. At least it'll get dropped to manslaughter. I think this guy should be charged with first-degree murder, but his lawyer's going... This guy's going to get a lawyer, and this lawyer is going to point to that admission of homicidal ideation.
The accused was initially taken to hospital for evaluation. Police say they do not fear for the lives of any of the 5 people who sustained injuries in the attack. You are currently...
So they don't think he's going to go after them again.
Black. Quebec City Police Chief Robert Pigeon said he believes the stabbing attack on Halloween night was premeditated. Sylvain Roy Roussel. Quebec is waking up after a night of horror. Words fail me to describe such a tragedy. I offer my condolences to the loved ones of the victims, Quebec Premier Francois Legault wrote Sunday morning on Twitter. In a release issued later in the day, Legault wrote that the Quebec population is once again put to the test. You are currently... As tragic as these events are, don't lose sight of the fact that this is not representative of a community that is characterized by its warmth, he said in the statement. The city and the citizens of Quebec can count on the firm support of the government during this terrible tragedy.
Yeah, this is getting crazy up here. This is just getting...
On Halloween night, police discovered victims in at least 4 locations, including near the Chateau Frontenac Hotel, on Du Trésor Street, and on Durenpart Street, according to Radio-Canada, CBC. Quebec City Mayor Régis Labonne told reporters on Sunday morning that he felt like he was reliving the events of January 2000.
Okay, they're just repeating it now. So yeah, that happened in Quebec over the weekend. And, yeah, it's pretty crazy. He looks like a sociopath. All right, and we have our last story, which I think Pincalo sent me because of what we watched last night. Because it fits in with the movie we watched. Let's see. Share screen. All right. So, we watched Night of the Living Dead last night on The Blind and the Special. Why this Anglican priest says Night of the Living Dead is perfect for 2020. Because everyone has to compare life to a movie now. And this guy, Matthew Keyswetter, is the name of this guy. So let's see here.
Since the pandemic started, Anglican priest and rector Matthew Keyswetter has been hosting monthly online movie conversations as a way to keep his congregation connected. But Keyswetter's choice this month may come as a surprise. He's encouraging people to watch, and to think deeply about, the 1968 George Romero movie Night of the Living Dead. You are currently on...
Which we watched last night. They found a real zombie in Europe. Oh.
Kai Sweater admits that it might seem like a strange choice for an Anglican priest, but he says that if something affects people in their daily lives, then he believes it's worth talking about within the context of the church.
Okay.
Advertisement. And he says, there's plenty to talk about when it comes to Night of the Living Dead. The movie is especially relevant in 2020, when themes of contagion and distrust are so top of mind. Chrome has new...
It was radiation that made the zombies, not contagion. Okay.
List one item. Bullet link. End of the... Kai Sweater spoke to CBC Kitchener Waterloo's The Morning Edition host Craig Norris about the event. Here is some of their conversation. This interview has been edited for length and clarity. Craig Norris, why choose Night of the Living Dead for this month's conversation? Matthew Kai Sweater, I mean, it's about a pandemic, isn't it? I think that
No.
speaks in some way to our experience. What do people do? They retreat into their own homes. What does that do to them? It raises anxiety. It brings up questions of, well, how do you get along with people that you're stuck with so closely? And how do you deal with the reality that you start to fear those around you? You are currently on a text...
Have you watched this movie, Father? Seriously. Have you watched Night of the Living Dead? Because only in Return of the Night of the Living Dead, yeah. The Romero sequels made it ambiguous. Well, the original one is not about a pandemic.
I won't give away the ending of the movie, but it does end on this just brutal note that says something, I think, about the reality and the evil of racism. The ending is incredibly powerful and disturbing, so I think it has a lot to say to us. You are currently...
Yeah, it wasn't the racist. Oh my god, you... They didn't shoot the guy because he was black. They shot him because they thought he was a zombie. The hero of the movie was a black man, and it was shot in the 60s. What racism are you talking about, you dumb person? The Walking Dead is more relatable with today's pandemic than Night of the Living Dead. You know what? I don't even like The Walking Dead, and I would agree with you on that. I would definitely agree with you on that.
CN, in light of the fact that real life, for a lot of people, because of the uncertainty, it's because of the virus, it can be scary. Do you think that watching a horror movie might be even cathartic? MK, I think so. I've seen some people compare it to a roller coaster where it can be terrifying in the moment, but you know that in 2 minutes, the ride is going to be over. You know with a movie that, in 90 minutes, it'll be over and things will be back to normal.
Another person overanalyzing a movie, lol. Yeah, no kidding. Pandemic is pretty spot on, functional. Night of the Living Dead has always been about racism. How? I would say it's more sexist than racist. I don't see the racist in it. I see the sexism, but I don't see much racism.
I think there's a part of us that, we fear the unknown. There are things within ourselves and things within our society that rightly disturb us or that prompt questions. And so I think this is a way of engaging with it, sometimes a surprisingly deep level.
Yes, Father Keyswetter, you have discovered that horror movies are cathartic. Good job. Good job. Way to go.
List one item. Link. End of the CN. CN. Do people need to be part of the congregation, part of the church to participate? MK. No, not at all. We're always happy to be reaching out and in welcoming others, Christian or not, coming from a faith perspective or not. But rest assured, we're not going to convert you secretly and this isn't some ploy or we're not going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya at the end. You are currently on a text element. We're simply looking at the film through our own lenses, which may include the lens of faith and saying, well, what does this say to us in our own day?
There are plenty of I don't know. What Night of that I think this guy's over analyzing Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead image. The The 1968 George Romero movie Night of the Living Dead has many themes that resonate today, said Matthew Kiesewetter. He's hosting an online talk about the film through St. Andrew's Memorial Anglican Church in Kitchener, CBC Arts. Well, you might convert people over to watching more George Romero films. MK, and converting people to being thoughtful, to asking the questions, to engaging with culture. And Night of the Living Dead is an important movie from the past several decades. You are currently...
You're not doing anything special, Father. He's acting like he's discovered this all by himself. It's kind of weird.
Listen to Matthew Kieswetter's interview. Audio embed.
So that's that story. I don't think Father Kieswetter has watched Night of the Living Dead, but maybe he has, and he's just interpreting it in a strange way. Let's see here. So guys, that takes us to the end of the stories. And I do have Alex with me, so I need to end this and do a couple of more reading lessons with him. So we're going to end here. Remember, guys, that tomorrow Beat the Blind Girl starts at 1 p.m., maybe a little bit after. And I'll be playing Mortal Kombat. And, of course, if you'd like to see more of me, I will be on Minions of the Zoo tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. Eastern after Lords of the Night. Thank you for watching, everybody. Please consider going over to blindpress.net and grabbing yourself some merch. And, or becoming a Patreon. And I will see you again on Wednesday here at 12 p.m. Eastern with Skip Talk. I hope you guys have a great day. And tune in for Beat the Blind Girl tomorrow at around 1:15. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.